What is up? Happy Saturday. Good to see everybody. She Warrior, Don Spain, Brad Marbles, Night Shadow, Frank Meister. Shadowbox says the poll was a loaded question. Yeah, make sure you guys participate in that poll. Farmer broken on the floor and no longer able to hold the water. Cindy, good to see you. Julianne, Joe Moser, Jody Lynn, Daily Survivor. Hi, Don. Always good to see you. Amelia, good afternoon. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Jamie Hicks, what up? CJK, melted sandy day for me today. Farmers being dramatic. Well, I was the one that called you a diva. Welcome in, Sarcastic. Kathy Chafin. Hello, KT Recovers. What's up? Good afternoon. Sending good vibes from Shadow. Thank you, Jamie, for the mic check. Welcome in, Susan. And Shane. Okay, so here are the few things that I wanted to talk about. First, let me share my screen. Okay, for all of you members or anybody who is looking to become a member, at 6 p.m. today, my time, of course, Mountain Standard Time, I will be joined by these fine folks, Kristen behind the crime door and Fig Solves. So Fig has a video coming out here soon. We're going to pick his brain about that. Can't wait to see it. And Kristen behind the crime door has been very involved. Pretty much in all things Delphi, Flora, and helping us guys like me, Fig, Frank Meister behind the scenes whenever she can. So shout out to these two folks. The Sleuth crew is extremely excited that we get them all to ourselves and we get to pick their brains. So you guys, they get to talk about whatever they want. So that is tonight, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. What else? Oh yeah, Channel 2 for you sci-fi, political, whatever, anything that's not true crime. Well, shoot, sometimes we even get into some true crime. But this Monday, I think I scheduled it for 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Phil Schneider and underground military bases. I grabbed a whole lot for this one. And the items up for discussion, of course, Nancy Grace coming through like a breath of fresh air. Oh, super sticker. Thank you, Zoe. We are sponsored by Zoe Kitty 777. So I pulled a real small clip from her recent report on Delphi, and then I found something interesting on the Rex Heuermann case as well. So apparently Rex Heuermann is seeing a therapist. And also Richard Allen's defense team requests additional time. I think we might start with that. Devoted, what's up? Says I'm lit for Fig and Kristen. I'm excited. I'm stoked. Patricia, good to see you. Violet, welcome in. Robin B, good afternoon. Oh man, I know what that's like. The gander, male goose. P.S. Female goose is gooses. Who knew? I didn't until recently. We're right there with you, sarcastic. Just don't get bit in the shin. Devoted says Barb was changing her story on Nancy. Quiet as it's kept. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. What do you guys want to hear? Well, let's just watch this one real quick.
Continuing coverage now, the reinstated attorneys for the Delphi's murder suspect Richard Allen want more time to review evidence and to turn over a list of witnesses they plan to call at trial.
In a new filing this week, attorneys Bradley Rossi and Andrew Baldwin responded to the state's January 27th motion to turn over discovery materials and their witness list. The court ordered the defense to respond to the motion by February 21st. Baldwin and Rossi filed their response on February 19th. Allen faces 2 counts of murder in the February 2017 deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German.
Continuing coverage now.
So I guess the question is, what happened to the speedy trial? Right? There's only a benefit to the prosecution and the accusers in delaying anything. And that's all they've been doing. People say, well, in turn, why is the prosecution side filing a contempt and doing all this? Well, contempt is a response to something, right? They're responding. Any issue that this case has had, it comes from the defense side. Any delay, right? Any issue, all of these motions, all of these things that need to be addressed by Judge Gold, even the altercations and the unpleasantry, so to speak. What up, Miss Thang? So I just have one question. What is going on with the speedy trial? If you're innocent, that's everything for you, right? What happened to catching him on the back foot? Actions speak louder than words. I don't think these guys are ready for to take Richard Allen to trial, his defense team. They're not ready. Because if you were ready, you wouldn't need any more time. right? Oh, well, it's groundbreaking stuff here that they're working on. Oh, yeah? So, what do you guys think about that? Where is the speedy trial? And why isn't Richard Allen every time he's being transferred to one of these court hearings? We always see him getting out of that van, surrounded by media, surrounded by law enforcement, and he just has this guilty look on his face. Not once has he said, "Hey, help me! I'm an innocent man. I'm being railroaded." Not once. He walks into the room and he puts his head down in shame. So why does he need more time? Why would he want the prosecution, Mr. Slick Nick, the boss? Why would you want to give him more time, right? Why do that? "6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for all of you members. We're going to be hanging out with Kristen and Fig." Talk mostly about Delphi, all this Ron Logan talk. Yeah, Devoted. I would share more of the Nancy Grace stuff, but I've never really shared any of her stuff. I don't know what they'll do, but I do have a small piece we can use for fair use. What's going on, Mary Flynn? CJ says, "Glad it's members only just because the vile creators and trolls need to stay out." They were bashing again, I heard. Well, that's all they do. Ad hominem attacks. They talk about people, we talk about ideas. So I don't care how book smart you think you are. If you don't have any common sense at all, right? You're most likely building everything up from a shitty foundation, building your structure on the sand. It might be the most grandiose and structurally sound, simply brilliant in the engineering. But dumbass, you built it on the sand and now it's sinking. Lacking sound fundamentals. No, not at this time. Unless we can verify a date. Shadow says, "I have so much to say about Barbara McDonald." Well, let's hear it. She's a big part of the whole Ron Logan push. Everybody was so excited. Barbara McDonald's part of my Discord. That must mean what we're saying is real. It's all this validation. You really like me. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It's all about the majority in the room. What do they think? And then that majority eats anybody who disagrees, right? Anybody in the minority. They troll, they attack, they demean, they attempt to belittle. That's why you have to rise above it. like the scientist over the lab rat. You don't want to go in the cage. The Thunderdome, remember? Devoted says, catch the prosecutor on his back foot. Yeah, what happened to the back foot? Right? You want to keep pushing. Now we got him off balance. Oh no, I need a timeout. I'm not ready to fight. You know? We're putting together a witness list of Odinists. Next, we're going to find out that Ron Logan was an Odinite. We getting my Aunt Franny, a Manny, and a Petty and spa treatment after all the foolishness those defense daddy trolls put her through. Yeah, that term, defense daddies. You want to talk about cringe? Blech.
It'll get worse before it gets better.
Thanks, Pat. He always puts things into perspective, you know what I mean? But with the Delphi case, you never know what's around the corner.
I swear, me and my brother.
Anna says, that's something my mom used to say. Some people discuss ideas and others talk about people. That's real talk. Real. All right, here we go. Let's hear it. This is Shadowbox on Barbara McDonald. Well, just so Barbara doesn't kick my ass, hold on. And also for the trolls, viewer discretion is advised. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled program. Says, okay, she's a fraud. She's biased. She came off trustworthy at first and then flipped the script. Can't stand her. I think she just had an agenda. We found out it was the book, right? That damn Richard Allen getting busted before my book comes out. Damn. Damn him. Couldn't he hide in plain sight for another year? Farmer, she was a big part of the Down the Hill podcast. Remember, she went down to the crime scene and interviewed Tobe Lesenby, the famous scene. You have DNA? Tobe's like, yes. She's like, you have his DNA? I don't know. She's using her large platform to spread misinformation and outright lies. Pretty much, yeah. She's creating this narrative because then she's right. You know, her ideas are also on trial. 6 years of my hard work is on trial. Okay, let's listen to Nancy Grace. Just a quick little clip with her and Barb. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it, honestly.
Going on around this. And I told Becky this morning, I sent her a text that I was going to be on your show, and she said, there's so much
That's not
craziness
Barb
right now
yet.
that if you talked about that, you'd
She
be
kind
on
of
the show
chimes
for
in.
hours. So there is a gag order. They take it seriously, but they're very aware of all of this chaos going on, and it's certainly not helping them.
Well, I want to circle back, Cheryl McCollum, to
Circle back.
her coming forward and claiming that's my ex-boyfriend right there, the one that beat me. The offense, if I'm wrong, correct me if I am, was February 13, 2017. And she goes forward claiming.
Shane, I think you have to go to your actual browser on your phone. You can't use the app, or you have to go to a desktop. I think iPads are really good for it too, from what I understand.
It's her ex-boyfriend.
No,
in
she
2020.
went forward in 2017. It was short. It was within days or a week or two.
Okay, I'm
of
sorry.
the
I thought you said
Hey, Stephanie.
2021.
Yeah, no. I spoke to her in 2021, and she told me her story. But yeah, she did speak to the FBI back in the very early days of the investigation, when the FBI was very active, involved in that investigation. And I just wanted to correct one other thing. That taped piece you played said that his alibi checked out. Ron Logan's alibi did not check out. And that is one of the things that I think gives some wiggle room here, and a big question mark on him is he does not have an alibi. According to cell tower data, his phone was at his...
Going on around this. And I told Becky this morning,
Okay, so they were talking about his alibi. So, and Fig's new video, I think, is going to involve a lot about what's going on with Ron Logan and all of the information surrounding that, including his alibi. Well, that's big for Barb and them, and she keeps saying that he lied about his alibi. And the argument is that he didn't lie about his alibi. He just tried to change who was in the driver's seat. But the truth is, he doesn't really have an alibi, right? For the time of the murders. But there's a whole lot that goes around it. If he did have anything to do with the murders, he would have never had any time to clean it up. I mean, it's not possible. We have his entire timeline. He would have left evidence all over his truck. There would have been clothing. He would have had to have gotten rid of a whole lot of evidence. So yeah, he definitely would have had time to do the crime scene, but get rid of evidence and hide any of that? No, I just don't see it. So I think that Barb is right when it comes to that. Does he have an alibi? No, but why should he? If he's at home, the killer brought the crime scene to his home. So how could you have an alibi, right? So obviously, if you did it, you went back to your home covered in blood. Well, if he was covered in blood, that means he would have had to basically strip completely naked, walk back to his house, rush, get dressed again, jump in his vehicle, and rush to, I believe it was Lafayette. It's a 30-minute drive there, spend an hour buying fish. You know, what are you doing that for? Are you creating an alibi? Well, it would be too late. Wouldn't it? So he would have had the same amount of time that Richard Allen did. But Richard Allen, he was covered in blood, right? If he's the guy walking on 300, leaving the crime scene at 357, he's covered in mud and blood. That means he's tracking evidence, DNA, into his vehicle, then back home. Now, if they would have been able to search his property around the same time that they searched Ron Logan's, my guess is they would have found something. Some people argue that Ron Logan had plenty of time to hide evidence too. In cold blood, until the real life story was finished. Barbara McDonald is making a mistake. Book before all facts are known. Well, she was coming from an angle like kind of like the West Memphis 3. Like, I can't wait because the truth is in my book. My book in her mind, and this is where the ego comes into these false accusations. My book will be the end all, right? My book will finally clear up these answers and show why everybody has been so distracted. They've had the wrong guy. So it's almost like her book is the remedy. Yep. Exactly. Devoted says when Nancy said now, Ron Logan is back from the dead. Well, guess who resurrected him? Guess who's putting the voodoo magic? The weekend at Bernie's routine. That's Barb. And the unraveling. Their whole who is it? And everybody else, I think Rick Snay. I think he's a Ron Logan person. And who am I to say that Ron Logan's not the bridge guy, right? That's just not what I see. And they say, well, Richard Allen's not what I see. And there's no way that you can argue that. You can try. You can even talk about height, this and that, math, look. But the truth is the image is so blurry, you're not going to get anything accurate out of that. The image is going to be so warped. You don't know how tall this person is. He could really be tall. To me, he looks short, which matches what the witnesses were saying. So, but the truth is, the whole push from these groups and other content creators, and I respect them all in their own, as human beings. I just don't agree with them. But it's all about Ron Logan for them. It can't be Richard Allen. He's innocent. Well, it's not because they're Richard Allen fans. It's because they're Ron Logan fans. He's their guy. I can't support what's going on with Richard Allen because then that means that my guy is not the guy. And my fragile ego cannot handle that. Especially after we had Barbara in our Discord, and we had all these great people, and this echo chamber, it started turning into basically carbon monoxide, with the foot on the gas pedal with no ventilation. That's what it turned into. They didn't put in an escape patch. I'm just glad I'm on the other side of that glass. That's for sure. Because not once will you hear me say, hey, Ron Logan's 100% innocent, right? But you can't say that about anybody. There's like 2 other homes that are pretty much connected right to that property as well. Thank God nobody started throwing their names around. So I think that's really the question when it comes to Ron Logan. Does he have an alibi? No. He doesn't have an alibi. But he also wouldn't have the time to clean up, to hide anything. By the time he comes home, there's people in his backyard without his permission already. So where's the blood trail? Where's all this all these clues and all that stuff? Especially in his truck, right? And nobody really brings up the fact that he took a polygraph. They polygraph tested him. And the reason you're not going to hear about those results is because there's no reason for the prosecution to talk about it. It doesn't, right? It doesn't mean anything. It's not evidence. Exculpatory. A big nothing burger. Just like what McClelland's trying to. That's how he's trying to explain what this whole Odinism theory is. It's a nothing burger. Well, in the public, it's not, right? On social media, it's not. It's feeding time. It's a feeding frenzy. It should be on the home page. It'll say join. You just hit that join button. Devoted says they ain't ready for a fired up Fig. You really ain't. You think he's quiet, but really he's just putting it together. That goes for a lot of folks. I didn't see the CW or Nancy Grace things. I'm so far behind. I tried to watch the CW, but man, the opening scene, I was just like, no way. I was like, no way. And I'm not going to badmouth anybody because I don't have to with this one. But man. Devoted, you're right about that.
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
You already know. Yeah, that was really good too. I almost put that up, the John Kelly episode. Yeah, it was good. Actually, the last two are really great. He talks about Richard Allen, then he did a follow-up on Ron Logan. They're both really good. What up, Tech Death? Good to see you. Chicos, what's up? His short about Ron Logan was hilarious. Wait till you see the video. Oh, you're talking about John? Yeah, that was really funny. It was good. Thank you, Cindy. CJK, not a fan of Barb. I mean, I like her coverage. I just don't like her opinionated stuff. I think she's a good reporter. Silas, what's up? If there was credible info that Ron Logan done it, the defense would have been all over it instead of the Odinites. I don't know. Rosie was part of Ron Logan's defense team. So I think it's a conflict of interest. So that could explain why we see an online presence pushing the Ron Logan stuff and also trying to support the defense team and support the release of Richard Allen. So it's almost like the defense, it's almost their way of going after Ron Logan without having to do it legally because they couldn't. You got to remember, Aki and Rosie were all part of the same firm. I think they still might be. That could have changed, but at the time they were. So on all the legal documents for Ron Logan, you see Rosie. Brad Rosie. So it's going to be kind of hard for him to say, oh, well, I'm going to accuse this guy who I was representing. And his law firm put out a statement. I have it. Talking about declaring Ron Logan's innocence. I have the document. So it would be hard for Rosie to say anything about Ron Logan. Anna. Yep, Odinite is a mineral. It's also a prison gang. Yeah, she kind of got into like she thought she was in a Facebook chat group there for a second. Like she was kind of butting in, interrupting. Like Nancy was like, "Well, we all know how fun it is in the Facebook groups, but let's get back to the fucking real stuff." That was kind of funny. I was like, "Yeah, with your bullshit." Jamie says Ronnie was at the dump unloading his crap from his truck. So that was around 12. So he had plenty of time to come back, get shit faced, and get out on that bridge. The question is, nobody saw him. Everybody around there probably knows Ron Logan. But to say 100% he's not that guy on the bridge because of the video, I just don't think you could really say that. Like it could be him and just be so messed up that it turned him into a Richard Allen looking mofo. And I'm not even saying that to, to joke around. Like that could be actually what is going on. That's not what I see. And I don't personally subscribe to that. I'm fairly convinced that that's Richard Allen. The witnesses, the timeline, everything, it just matches up perfectly with him. That's why in my opinion, he needs to go to trial. And what people are calling corruption or perceiving as corruption, I think really is just incompetence and bad police work being hidden, right? So people that are getting bad vibes off of Doug Carter and they want to badmouth Doug Carter, well, he's just trying to hide that fact, right? It's his duty to hide any mistakes, or he needs to show an appearance of strength, not only for the family, because who else is going to solve the case if it's not for them? Sure as hell ain't going to be these idiots trying to get Richard Allen freed. They're trying to get a killer off the hook. Their job is to do the complete opposite. And really, I'm telling you guys, it's all about ego. For them, it's I've been convinced. Why aren't you? Big badass me, I'm convinced of it. You know how hard it is to convince me? Look at all this evidence I have. So now it is my life's mission to convince you, because I'm just such a creepy personality type that's just part of it. Now I have to do the manipulating stuff that I like to do because you're not agreeing with me. And if you don't agree with me, I'm going to scratch you with my long nails. The guys are spitters, probably. It's ridiculous. Oh, shout out to Cindy Lean. Preach. Uh-oh, am I getting preachy? So shout out to Zoe and Cindy coming through. Appreciate you guys. Tech Death Hippie, that's really the only way he could have done it. He would have had to strip completely down, leave everything there, go inside, get dressed. He can't go to the restroom. He can't do anything. He has to run inside, get in his truck, and speed to Lafayette. No time to burn clothes on the way there, because it's a 30-minute drive and he was only there 30 minutes to an hour. They have that whole part mapped out. Guarantee they know where his cell phones were. Because I think they had him pinging at 209 right around there. Automobile. Is there a naked short fat ass with a little dick walking down 300? Yeah, we didn't hear any sightings of that. None of that crap. Pretty funny. There you go, Shane. If you have any trouble, just email me. I'll walk you through it. Be nice to have you in the members permanently. We may have converted Tech Death, but he keeps getting gifted. So he's like our good luck charm, I think. Automobile says Richard Allen has never stated he didn't do it, just the opposite. Well, I have a feeling that, well, let's start with this. The defense team is not pushing for these confession transcripts, right? And Richard Allen supporters are saying the confession went something like this.
What? At what point did you shoot? At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk.
Yes.
I shot the
When
clerk.
did you shoot? Yes. When did
I
you
shot
shoot?
the clerk. I shot the clerk.
Hey, Dean, you need. Hey, Dean, you need.
Right. Now, if that was the case, we would already know about it. We would have the transcripts. The defense team would have it out there. So what I'm thinking is he didn't just say, oh, I'm guilty as charged. No, he gave some details. Something even, probably something that we don't know. All of the obsessed over this case, right? All who have been kind of drawn to this case like a moth to that flame. Just by the sheer brutality of it, just everything. You want your kids to go out and enjoy, have a good day? Okay, look what happened. But at the same time, it could be what they were doing online. Not to mention throwing in the fact that it was in the middle of the day. Middle of the day. People all around. Not just one poor girl, but two. Everything with this crime was multiplied. Can't just have one family suffering. They needed two. Everything about it. And now that they have this guy in custody, not to mention the chaos in between then and that, the beginning and Richard Allen being caught, but everything that's come after that. It's crazy. Let's go to True Crime Web. Steve is in the building. Professional opinion here. To clean up my crime scene and mannequin recreation took me over 30 minutes. And no synthetic blood was used, which would have taken considerable time if used. Not to mention the cleanup. And the thing about blood is you're gonna miss so much of it. Everything you touch, every piece of clothing. Good to see you, Steve. Welcome in. Anna says the Odinist defense, in my opinion, is ridiculous. I can't figure why they used it. Because it makes perfect sense. They used it because Richard Allen is the puppet master. He's the reason. Nobody has more case knowledge than Richard Allen. If he's the guilty man, right? He knows more than anybody on this planet about the Delphi case. Nobody has more information than him. Not one person on the planet. So, if you want to talk about crime scene knowledge, how the sticks were placed, why they were placed that way, why the girls were killed, if he's a guilty man, he knows why. So, to him, he's had 6 years to put these pieces together. And it also, I think, might have a lot to do with why he targeted the girls. We know that Valentine's Day is a trigger, and we know that Logan Holder, who is the link to the crime and the Odinism theory. Without Logan Holder, there's no theory, right? You go to Logan, then from Logan, you go to his father, who's Brad Holder, the Odinist and the Freemason and all of this stuff, right? So Richard Allen, I believe he was either trying to communicate with the girls, watching them, or fully aware of what they were doing. Something, an inappropriate relationship. So if this person was targeting the girls based off of that, they're going to have full knowledge of Logan Holder, maybe even getting jealous, maybe. Or even after the fact. Especially keeping up with social media, which Richard Allen most likely did. He probably was in these Facebook groups, commenting on YouTube channels, over there on TikTok. Guarantee he was all in there. He's had plenty of time to come up with this theory. Right? The sticks. Maybe he placed them there to make them look like runes. You know, I'll set up your boyfriend. They'll think your boyfriend did it. This is the shit that's all over his Facebook. Because Logan Holder was into this stuff too. Or is. Or just the knowledge of the crime scene itself. Saying, well, I placed those sticks everywhere. I know exactly how I left them. I mean, what are the 3 reasons to stage a crime scene? Shock, communicate, and then mislead. What was he doing? Hey, what's up, Cheeks? Good to see you. I've never considered Ron Logan to be part of this case. There's just no evidence for me that shows he had any relation other than it happened on his land. Well, there's no proof, but there's really no proof of Keegan Kline and the Anthony Shots stuff either. But I still feel that that's connected. But you could easily connect Ron Logan to that. What if he's accessing the Anthony Shots account? Right? He's part of this plan with a group of other people to, we're going to lure these girls and then we're going to keep them here in the house for a while. Maybe that's why he was cleaning up and getting fish, right? Because I plan to have people over. But when you really think about it, it's extremely ridiculous, especially because it's 100% speculation and not even really good speculation at that, because you don't have anything to back it up. The crime scene just happened to be on his property and he has problems with law enforcement. It's as simple as that. It's that simple. Steve says the pings are meaningless to me. If he lived 20 miles away, it would be different. Yeah. People say, well, he's pinging near the crime scene. Well, he was probably sleeping near the crime scene that morning. He probably even had breakfast near the crime scene that morning. You want to know what else he did? I think he even went and took a nap near the crime scene. And then when he woke up from his nap, he probably went and watched some TV near the crime scene. Because he lives near the crime scene. He went and had Cheerios right near the crime scene. That sick son of a bee. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Oh, somebody got hooked up. I wonder who it was. Who got the membership? I'm always curious. I get all excited. Steve, Sleuth's point of the cleanup time is valid. I'm an expert on blood and synthetic blood cleanup. Rushing causes transfers and contamination. He did not have time to clean up. Now, did he come back and clean up later that night when he had, opportunities? And when they didn't jump all over him with the search warrant, did that give him enough room to then clean up? But my point is, how did Ron Logan have the wherewithal? He's obviously drunk as shit. Nobody's going to commit this type of crime sober unless you are completely angry and it's a crime of passion. But this is totally random for him. Wandering. He's super active. I mean, for all we know, he's tweaked out, right? We don't know. But that would just be more speculating. I must be gifted each month. I have no debit or credit cards to purchase online. I'm off grid. Well, sometimes I can gift too. Let me see. Every once in a while, they'll throw me like 5 or 10 in a bucket. Let me see if they're reloaded. Maybe I have to do it on here. Bear with me, guys. And this is pretty much our 10-minute warning, and we'll get out of here. I got a busy day today. Damn. Okay, looks like Copper Horse just came through and hooked it up. 20 memberships. Thank you, Copper. Perfect timing. Don't forget, all you new members, today, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I've kidnapped Kristen and Fig. They belong to me for 1 hour, I think. Hopefully, at least an hour. Oh, let me see. Membership gifting. You have 10 memberships left to gift this month. All right, here we go. We're going to gift these out. I'll do 5 now, and then I'll do 5 on Monday. All right, so it looks like we got Timmy was gifted. Big Bird was gifted. Budward was gifted. Michelle was gifted. David Lowry was gifted. All right, you guys got hooked up. Let's go to these two comments by Cheeks. That is true, but there is a connection with the victims and Keegan Klein, whether it's related or not. The same for Richard Allen. Exactly. That's why I lean more towards Keegan Klein, because we know that he was targeting them, and we know what was going on with Las Vegas. We know with the burner phones and him. We know a lot about what was going on with Keegan Klein. And remember, that's where their investigation started. I have a feeling it's going to end there. Cheeks, to my knowledge, there was no connection to the girls and Ron Logan other than them being on his land. But we could always speculate. Yeah, and I guess technically that would be a connection, but right? It's a connection to everybody else that's anywhere near there. The mirrors too, right? Law enforcement also used the term meaning no one messed with the scene prior to law enforcement arriving. Ron Logan used it to express how thoroughly the scene was processed. Yeah, he said they had it lit up like a football field. Sela says it makes no sense for the murderer to leave their bodies in plain sight on his own property. What if you panicked and you needed to create an alibi? But the truth is, he could have came down there and dug like a shallow grave right there. They would have never been found until the dogs got there, right? What's up, Sharon Parker? Shelly, welcome in. The crime scene is from the bridge on not just one spot. Yeah, multiple spots. From the bridge down the hill, all the way to that back corner where they found some of the clothing in the water and the shoe in the water. Yeah, all of that. Don't ever turn on the family again.
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
Don't do it. Yeah, I'm having a good weekend. Hope you are as well. Always good to see Frank. All right, let's zip on down here. Oh, you got it. So Copper hooked it up. I dropped 5 more. That way we can have a good crowd for tonight. Let me throw that flyer up there again. What's up, Pam? Anna says a problem with the crime being heavily planned is where one or more assassins hanging out, waiting for a phone call. If the girls left the house, in my opinion, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder, what if Richard Allen was like sitting outside of her home? Because he came kind of from the same direction, and he's just looking at her, stalking her on online or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the High Bridge in 10 minutes or something." So he just zips on down there. Or he was already at the cemetery with a group of people They get the text. They're already down at the crime scene. He leaves the crime scene and parks at the CPS building because he needs to be on the other side of the. But that doesn't make any sense because you could walk from the crime scene up to the bridge and you could just stay at the cemetery. So none of that really makes sense. To me, it's he showed up at 1:30 because he heard the girls are going to be there at right around 1:30. He went there and he seems extremely angry. So I think once we figure out whatever had him pissed off, we're going to learn a lot more about what happened to Abby and Libby. Because he was, in my opinion, he was pissed, highly motivated, and that's just my opinion. But that's it, guys. That is all my time. I'll see you guys again real soon. Thank you for watching the Sleuth Intuition channel. If you are part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Sleuth Intuition is 100% crowdfunded. If you want to support me and help my channel grow, here are 3 ways that you can help. Number 1, Cash App. The funds go directly to me without YouTube taking a percentage. Number 2, become a member. Members are by far the leading contributors to my channel. Number 3, hit up the merch shop. Represent the Sleuth crew on these ruthless streets. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. Until next time, peace.